Hey everyone. You know what the great thing about having a channel where literally no one watches what you make? So you can do whatever you want. You could literally do whatever you want. Um, so I'm here drinking a beer. And I'm going to go over some evening crypto news. I know there's another channel out there that I follow and subscribe to, The Modern Investor and Money Rules. That guy, love that guy. Great information. I watch his videos every single day, and I like what he does. Morning crypto news. So I'm just trying to do a Joe Rogan style evening sort of crypto news recap of what went on in the day, what might be going on tomorrow, some of these crazy price predictions and price swings that we're seeing. So just to start off with, Bitcoin. It says 49,700 right here. We officially broke $50,000 like twice today, like 2 times. Literally, probably maybe an hour or so ago, and then much earlier this morning. Earlier this morning, it hung around for like a minute or two, and then just now, about an hour ago, we probably broke above 50,000 for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then it's gone back down a little bit. So as you can see, high 50,341 the past 24 hours. Great stuff. Love seeing it. I still think Bitcoin's undervalued, as well as Litecoin and Ethereum. Those are the only cryptocurrencies that I am currently in. The only ones that I plan to stay in, anyway. So let's do this thing. Evolve wins second Canadian Bitcoin ETF as Ontario regulators approve application. This is pretty cool. Why? Because this little ticker symbol here, EBIT.U, that allows U.S. investors to jump in on this ETF. Sure, it might be traded on, I believe it's the Ontario Stock Exchange or something like that. It'll be traded with them. However, U.S. investors do have exposure to this. So why we need an actual U.S. ETF, I'm not 100% sure. And in a minute, I'll kind of get into why I don't think it's going to happen, at least this year. But this is the second ETF that has actually gotten approval in North America vis-a-vis Canada. The other ETF was, what's it called? Purpose Bitcoin ETF, and the Evolve one is the Evolve Bitcoin ETF. So another open opportunity window availability for rich people, anyone to get into the crypto space. If you have a brokerage account, and please, for the love of God, get yourself a real brokerage account. Stop playing around with apps like Robinhood and Stash or Cash App or any of that crap. Get yourself a real brokerage account like TD Ameritrade or Fidelity. I'm telling you, you won't have these problems like people were having with GameStop and AMC when all that mess was going down. I didn't have those problems. I was able to get in and out easily. But because Robinhood is not well capitalized enough to handle that high flow of trading that went into their platform, they had to shut it down. As much as I disagree with what Robinhood did, they lied on CNBC. They had a liquidity problem. They shut it down to try and de-risk and deleverage their account. So that's all I got to say about that. Get yourself a real brokerage account. But these ETFs are pretty cool. And speaking of ETFs, next one, NYDIG, is filing for another Bitcoin-based ETF with Morgan Stanley on board. So huge bank. And I think that's interesting and is good news, but there's one little point that this article kind of breaks down here as to some of the points. Maybe, was it not this article? I thought it was this article. No, it's not this article. It's the next article. Anyway, this ETF is just being backed by Morgan Stanley and NYDIG, which is the New York Digital Investment Group. So they filed an S1 form. The SEC is going to review it and probably say, nah, see you later, brah. But cool. I believe this is the second ETF in the U.S. that is trying to get approval. Not 100% sure on that. I believe there is another company out there that's trying to get one approved, but I just can't think of it off the top of my head. I did like 2 seconds of research before I started doing this. Anyway, moving on to the next article. So this is where I'm talking about why I don't think, this is an older article like from 11 or 12 hours ago, but this article kind of explains why I don't think the Bitcoin ETF will get approved in the North America, United States space. And it is because, where is it? This I think right here is the number one reason why I don't think the SEC is going to allow a Bitcoin ETF into the US market this year, because of what we have seen in the GameStop and AMC, Robinhood retail traders fiasco. They're going to look at the retail traders as the ones who were doing the market manipulation. Every day I'm seeing articles about the SEC and, word on Reddit and wherever else I can get my information, but it just seems to point that the SEC is going to crack down on Reddit and, social media accounts and maybe even like Discord or investorshub.com or, any of these other social media accounts that you can use to coordinate with other people. I mean, which it's really just kind of stabbing and slapping the retail investor in the face. Is like, of course, this is what hedge funds do. Of course, they have, dinners together where they talk about what they're going to be doing in the next day, or, they get on, they text each other, or they call each other, or they get on their own Discord chat group and, they talk to each other. Of course, these people talk to each other. They came in to save each other's ass when the Bitcoin and AMC fiasco was happening. Like, it got squeezed a little bit, but apparently there are still brokerages that are unable to deliver on the actual shares of GameStop. So, but again, the market manipulation, I think, is the largest aspect of this, just kind of briefly glancing through this article. But this is the number one reason why I just don't think it's going to happen this year. I mean, more power to NYDIG, trying to get a SEC ETF approval, but even with Morgan Stanley on your back, like, I don't know that that's going to be enough for, this round. So anyway, moving on. The pretrial settlement not in the cards for SEC versus Ripple. Neither parties are considering terms for a pretrial settlement. So that means that Ripple thinks it has a big enough case to go against the SEC without having to go through any sort of settlement. They're trying to fight the SEC tooth and nail. It seems like, And as much as I don't like the SEC, I don't really like Ripple either, but I do find it, I have to say, like, more power to Ripple. Like, if they can flip the SEC to get them to actually do something, that'll be great. I mean, to regulate, send some regulation our way. Like, how are we supposed to view these cryptocurrencies as, securities or not securities or whatever? But, again, a lot of exchanges have delisted XRP and Ripple from their exchanges just because of what's going on in the U.S. But this is only in the U.S. This isn't happening all over the world. The SEC is not a worldwide organization, so anywhere else where XRP is traded across the world is still freely available to be traded. So if you're in Mexico, or even if you have a VPN, like, hook up a VPN to your computer on your internet network, and then I assume that you should be able to change your country and be able to continue trading XRP. So we have the technologies to circumvent this kind of crap. So why you let it get to you, I don't know. Anyway, more rich people buying Bitcoin. So MicroStrategy, again, more Bitcoin. $600 million worth of convertible notes to buy more Bitcoin. I don't know why there's, words to this article, but that the headline says it all. Like, I think this shows right here, their total price in Bitcoin is $1.1 billion. They currently hold nearly 71,100 Bitcoin. So quite a bit of Bitcoin, and they're only buying more. Like, I think there was a quote that Michael Saylor, CEO of MicroStrategy, sorry, that's kind of confusing to say, said that he wrote a book and saw opportunity in, like, the FANG stocks: Facebook, Apple, Google, Amazon, Netflix, those stocks. And, like, this was back in the 90s when he first started to see these emerging markets and, products coming out. And essentially what he said is this, then you could have bought, Facebook and Google and just held on to, the biggest horse in the race, the biggest, Facebook versus MySpace. If you could have invested in MySpace, I don't know if it was publicly traded or not, but once you find the biggest elephant in the room, that's the one you go with. You stick with it, you hold on to it for 10 years, and you 10x your money. And so what Michael Saylor said recently is, in one of his interviews, I've watched everything that I can get my hands on with this guy in it. He said that this time, the next time that he saw an opportunity, like Google or Facebook or Netflix or Amazon, he was going to buy as much of it as he could and then just tweet about it. And he is doing exactly that. He's doing a bit more than tweeting. He's actually getting on, interviews and, YouTube shows. And, he actually presented I think it was like a 2 or 3 day long conference where, he would explain to other corporations how to adopt Bitcoin, what their strategy could or should be. So, Michael Saylor, more power to you. You're doing great things for Bitcoin, and accumulate all that you want. Like, go for it. This kind of leads into the same thing, is that institutional interest in Ethereum is at unprecedented levels, says leading crypto investment firm. I don't know who this firm is, at CoinShares. They have revealed that last week, 80% of inflows, or about $175 million, went into Ethereum investment products. Like, we have never seen institutional investment like that before. Sorry, I can't speak. I mean, even though Ethereum does not have a hard cap, there is a lot of technology, apps, DeFi that is trying to be built on top of Ethereum. And I keep seeing all these articles about how Ethereum is extremely complicated and complex, and maybe even overly so, and that projects like Polkadot or Cardano or any of these other DeFi platforms could usurp Ethereum potentially. So while I see that as a potential, I still think that Ethereum is going to be the #1 DeFi platform and decentralized app creating platform in the whole marketplace. Like, here's kind of how I'm. It's the end of the video, so I'm just going to ramble at this point. Here's how I kind of see things happening or shaking out in my mind. Bitcoin is your store of value. That's what you use as your savings account. Ethereum is a platform or a worldwide computer. They said that like 2017. Here we are, 2021, still hasn't happened. Ethereum 2.0 still hasn't happened. It's a very slow adopting, changing, improving cryptocurrency, but I see a lot of things being built on top of it, especially DeFi and I think dApps, as big as DeFi is, I think dApps are actually going to be bigger just because of, think like if Facebook was built on top of Ethereum, like, would that not be bigger? I mean, I suppose not, because the derivatives market is in the multi-trillions, and Facebook, well, is a $1 trillion company. So it just kind of depends on how you look at it. But Ethereum is going to be that, platform. Like one of the Winklevoss twins says, Ethereum is like the oil, and oil could be potentially worth more than the gold, or as a total market cap, but not maybe on an individual coin basis. But because Ethereum doesn't have that hard cap, I kind of see it more difficult for Ethereum to flip Bitcoin. And then the third coin, obviously that I'm invested in is Litecoin. Let me get onto the Litecoin, and then I want to extrapolate on the investment aspect of it. I see Litecoin as being, your ease of use, quick transaction, buying groceries, smoothies, or whatever. Like, that Litecoin is what you actually use for transactions, and Bitcoin is just what you use for store of value as, your savings. And then Ethereum is this application, this platform that you can use. I wouldn't even almost think of it as an Ethereum as an investment. Actually, I don't think of any of these as an investment. I think of all of these as a replacement for how we view currencies today. I think, and even Morgan Stanley said this yesterday, that, currencies are, the US dollar is going to decline. It has been in decline for decades, like essentially since it was created in the 1913, the very first version of the US dollar, since then has lost 99.9 or something % of its value. And since I think like 1970 has also lost like 97% of its purchasing power. So why you would continue to hold your savings in US dollars, I don't know. Yes, the Bitcoin market is volatile, and if you put say you have 500 in savings, you put that 500 into Bitcoin, at 50,000, it goes down to, 48,000 for a couple of weeks, and you kind of need that $500 all of a sudden, then that's a case I could see where maybe the store of value aspect of Bitcoin, if you're trying to use it on a quick basis, if you're trying to trade it, I could see that how it might not be very beneficial to you. But if you don't have if you have a long enough time horizon, then holding on to Bitcoin is going to be beneficial for you in the long term. So yes, I still hold US dollars in cash. Yes, I still have stocks. Yes, I still have gold, silver, but large majority portion of my assets are in cryptocurrencies. So, and I've actually started to use Bitcoin and Litecoin as I just explained. I signed up with the Litecoin Visa debit card app, and I hooked it up to my Apple Pay, and I've gone to the grocery store and I've bought smoothies and I bought groceries, and it works just fine. And I'm actually pretty amazed. So I'm more or less transferring what I do every single day is I transfer a little bit of cash into Bitcoin. And then when I want to make a purchase, I transfer that Bitcoin to my Litecoin into the Litecoin wallet, and then I go and make a purchase for the day. Or, I keep a certain amount in there. I don't hodl a large amount of Litecoin. I just keep everything in Bitcoin and then transfer as I need. Yeah, it's a little, I could just hold more Litecoin, but for my investment portfolio right now, it seems to be working well for me. And then I also hold on to Ethereum. I don't have enough to get the staking rewards, the 32 Ethereum. Looking back, I definitely could have, when Ethereum was like $80 or something like that, I definitely could have swooped some up and, been all right from this point on. But no, I don't have that much. So I invest in, these applications like BlockFi, which gives you interest on your crypto, paid in crypto, denominated in dollars. So I think that's pretty cool. I just, I could ramble on some more, but, with the price of Bitcoin hitting $50,000, I think that was pretty exciting enough for today. So if you guys could, thank you to my one subscriber, or out of the 100 subscribers that I've got, the one of you that actually watches and likes my video, thank you. You're what keeps me going. Because I honestly don't know. I literally have like 1 or 2 views on some of these videos, and I just don't know why. Like, more people than that have obviously been searching Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, and I feel like I, give good commentary, just a different aspect perspective on things. I will make a video on how I don't think Bitcoin is going to change any of your lives because of how you view money and how you manage your own money. Like, if you think that when Bitcoin goes to $1 million that you're going to sell it and buy a Lambo, that's the mentality that is going to keep you from being rich, from having that wealth mindset. Like, you need to have a balanced account. You need to borrow against your Bitcoin and actually create an income. So I will never sell my Bitcoin. As long as I am able to hold on to it, I will. I will not sell it for anything. Currently, I don't have a job. I got laid off a month or so ago. At no fault of mine or the company. We just lost some projects and weren't able to keep me on. It's all fair game. That's the way of, I work in construction, but that's the way of construction. And so I'm not that worried at the moment, but, if it came down to it, I would sell my Bitcoin just to, obviously survive. If it came down to it, then, you're going to have to sell your Bitcoin for whatever. But just kind of, last thoughts here. Fully diluted market cap of Bitcoin over $1 trillion. The market cap currently with the circulating supply is 9.28 billion, or sorry, 928 billion. Almost 929. We're so close. When Bitcoin hits I think it's 54,000, I think that's when the actual circulating supply market cap actually reaches over $1 trillion. So anyway, hope you guys found this entertaining, fun, new, exciting. If you could, like, share, subscribe, I'd appreciate it. Leave a comment. Tell me what you're doing with your day. I'll see you in the next one.